Hey, what's up guys? Alright, so what I decided for the first series of YouTube videos I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing pretty much a cooking series post-workout where I'm going to be interacting with you guys, answering some questions that I get, just giving some general philosophies for my training, and again, updating you guys with what's going on. I actually just got done with my first quad training routine in about a month, which is pretty weird, but with all the photo shoots that have been going on, I've been actually backing off leg training just because I didn't want to have them kind of over exhausted or over bloated going into shoots. It's kind of similar to when you go to compete in a show. You don't usually train your legs for the last week of the show. Well, at least I don't. So now I'm back at it. I squatted for the first time today and it felt pretty fantastic. I went decently heavy, but I didn't want to kill myself. So not being a weenie, but I just didn't want to overdo it. And it actually went really well. I'm really exhausted, and now it's time to eat. So what's on the menu? As you may have seen if you guys follow my Snapchat, I eat salmon or tilapia pretty regularly. And these are prepackaged, measured out. This is 8 ounces of tilapia. No, tilapia. This is salmon. Pink salmon. And I'm also going to be doing, and I eyeball this, usually the equivalent of about a cup of asparagus. And this isn't necessarily my only meal I eat post-workout, but this is definitely a go-to that I enjoy because it gets a lot of the nutrients that you want, and heck, it tastes really good and it fills you up. So I'm going to be doing the asparagus, I'm going to be doing the salmon, and then I already have it pre-cooked, but basmati rice. This stuff is delicious, and it's more of an off-season kind of thing that I get to eat. So while these pans are heating up and everything's pretty much ready, I'm going to answer a couple questions. So I actually got some questions in Snapchat regarding my ab routine. Me personally, I'm a pretty firm believer in training with weighted ab stuff and body weight stuff. So pretty much what I do is every other day I'll train weighted, and on the opposite days I'll train body weight. General things that I like to do personally, for weighted ab exercises, I like to do, there's weighted ab machines that I like to do. Nothing too extremely heavy. I'm a pretty high volume based kind of person, so like 15, 25, 20, 30 reps, something in that range. Doing about 3 or 4 sets. You don't have to overdo abs. That's the one thing I notice a lot of people either don't do them at all, which you shouldn't do that. Abs are extremely important if you want to lift heavy, having a strong core. On top of that, it's nice for beach season. I do the weighted ab machine. I also do cable crunches, so having, you know, the bar crunching down. I do those pretty regularly, so I'll superset those together oftentimes. And on the days when I'm doing body weight stuff, a lot of times I like to do hanging leg raises, and I'll also do a lot of decline sit-ups. I really love those. And when I'm prepping for photo shoots, that's kind of a go-to, just to squeeze out on that last week or two. I'll do a lot more of those to squeeze out a little bit of extra water. That's about it. It's nothing complicated. You don't have to do anything insane to get your abs to come in and grow. You know, I see a lot of people doing some pretty wacky movements, and none of them are wrong. Truthfully, what it comes down to is it's whatever works for you. Whatever works the best for you is pretty much the way you should be going. For me, I like to keep it decently high volume and then just rotate back and forth with weighted and non-weighted. Another question I had was, first of all, what body type am I? Ectomorph, mesomorph, or endomorph? I like to consider myself a mesomorph. Pretty much middle of the road. I gain decently easily, but at the same time when I gain, I don't get, you know, big huge bodybuilder type. I'm 6 foot, 6'1", somewhere in there, and currently I am about 245 to 250 pounds depending on the day. And for photo shoots, I'm usually closer to about 230. And in the off season, I wouldn't call it fluff, but it's almost like you're a little bit of extra padding, coat of armor, as I like to call it. It's kind of goofy, but it allows you to train a little bit heavier, have a little bit extra padding, and that's pretty much where I sit. So yes, I would consider myself a mesomorph. And then they said in the question, does that really change your training, or does that really come into much play when you're training? Truthfully, I don't even take my build into consideration at any point. I train heavy, I train hard, I train with high volume. A lot of people either train high volume or they train heavy. My philosophy is do both. You know, start low weight, high volume, and eventually work up to high weight, high volume. You know, if you can handle it, gradually push it up. That being said, don't jump into the deep end of the pool and hurt yourself. Quick update, by the way. I just got back about 4 or 5 days ago, from South Beach down in Florida, doing a shoot with Jorge Frier. And right before that, I had one with Golden Zermatt, and right before that, with Alan Spears. And right now, I am not quite, as you can see, photo shoot ready. And that's one of those things where it's a mental game. You got to get used to it. But it's one of those things where you got to realize you can't look photo shoot ready, stage ready all year round. As much as that would be phenomenal, it's not possible, and it's not healthy. So that being said, I embrace the fluff and I enjoy it. Realistically, I like to keep my body weight around 230 to 235, and my upcoming goal is to look into. I've shot a lot of East Coast stuff, which has been absolutely phenomenal, but I've always wanted to travel out to, you know, California, check out the Mecca, you know, and Muscle Beach, and that's kind of a plan in the upcoming months. Maybe take about 1 to 2 months of letting my body relax and training for fun, training a little bit heavier. I haven't been training heavy lately. I haven't deadlifted, squatted, or flat benched in about 6 or 7 months until this week. And the reason being is, and this isn't for everybody, but when I get ready for a photo shoot or I get ready for a show, oftentimes I cut out the exercises that are a little bit more, I don't want to say dangerous, but it is. It's a little bit more dangerous when you're squatting as opposed to leg pressing. Oftentimes there's a little bit more freedom where injuries are potentially going to happen. So what I do is I cut those out, and I don't like cutting them out, truthfully. I like training heavy, and I like doing all those very core lifts and exercises that are going to build a lot of mass. By the way, for the salmon, 3 go-to things I always use. Black pepper. That's not even showing very well. Onion powder and garlic powder. It's nothing too crazy. I like to keep my sodium decently low when I'm cooking, just because I blowed up like a blimp when I add a lot of sodium in. And that's something I actually experienced right after I got back from down south. It was really miserable because my whole body was super tight, my skin was tight, you know, my face. I'm still recovering a bit from that, but it was like puffy cheeks. It sucked. And then, of course, my go-to, gotta have a little bit of hot sauce. It's the bomb. It's the bomb. So back to what I was saying. I want to go, hopefully plan on traveling to California, West Coast, in that area. Even potentially hitting the Olympia. You know, that's quite a few months away. It'd be fantastic to go to something like that. You know, I've been to the Arnold many years because I live in Ohio, so naturally it's not very far away from me. And that's kind of the biggest show for bodybuilding on earth. Alright, with the rice warmed up and the asparagus and the salmon all cooked and ready to go, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the final product. Gains on a plate. Delicious gains, that is. And this is going to be pretty much what I'm going to be eating on a daily basis for my last meal, or at least some meal throughout the day, just to make sure I'm getting my proper proteins, carbs, and fats in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you thought the food looked pretty good. And if you did, make sure you give this video a like, and also if you haven't yet, subscribe. And make sure you check me out over at my Facebook at Kevin Dzienny Fitness Model, as well as my Instagram at kevin.dzienny. And if you want to see meals other than just my post-workout meals, my other 5 or 6 or sometimes 7 meals throughout the day, as well as my crazy coffee drinking, my training, and a bunch of other goofy stuff that goes on in, you know, my life, check out my Snapchat at Kevin_Dzienny. Until next time, guys, get big, get strong, and let's get it on.